Sarah brought the belt to the presser. I wanted to ask you more about how that tradition started back at Glenville State, and just how has that helped you, or have you seen that benefit to recognize players in smaller efforts?
Yeah, we did it when I was a player, and we always really liked it. We always kind of fought over the belt. And I know a couple other schools that do that as well. And so we have a couple little trinkets and toys that we'll give out just for selfless things, for really effort-based plays. And she was proud of it and was wearing it around the arena and took it in, and so that was cute.
Kim Mulkey joked that she got you an LSU onesie. Did you have a chance to open it? What did she get?
She did not get me an LSU onesie. Her gift was very nice. She got me some baby blanket or some baby towels, some lotion and bath stuff, and then a onesie that was very neutral. It was not LSU.
She said it was a conversation back in the day she had with Pat Summit that kind of encouraged her to want to continue to do these things. So, for you as an expecting mother, how has it been balancing the two, being a coach and a first-time mom?
Yeah, I don't think I'm to the hard part yet. That's what everyone keeps telling me. So I know it's about to get a lot harder. But Kim was great. She was just so inspiring and supportive about being able to do both. And to be able to get advice like that from somebody of her caliber was really amazing.
Has it been good to kind of look up to people like her or other coaches that do have kids in the industry? Have you had conversations with them that have kind of given you advice? I know you mentioned here at Tennessee you have, but in the basketball landscape.
Yeah, I think before games, the female coaches who have kids have all been incredibly supportive, said, call me if you need anything. It's hard, but you can do it. And so it's been good.
How are you feeling, and is there a plan? It feels like maybe you're due kind of soon.
Yeah, any day now there is a plan, but we're not going to share it.
Okay. The hand grabber when Sarah Puckett, so is that not what you want to call it?
No, and first and foremost, it's the Hamburglar from McDonald's, but they're so young that they don't know what the Hamburglar is. And I was going to interrupt her and go off and say, you are too young to not know what the McDonald's toys are. But no, it was the Hamburglar, but bless her heart.
I don't think
That's not it. But
You mentioned on the radio that you felt like the defensive pressure wasn't consistent enough. It felt like there were times maybe in the press where their traps didn't come, or could you expand on that?
Yeah, I think we were just a little bit lethargic the whole game. Didn't really have a lot of pop or juice to us, which is something I really wanted. Coming off of the games that we came off of, we're going to go watch the film now, but we had allowed easy entry after easy entry, didn't really get a whole lot of turns. Our half-court defense was better, but our full-court pressure was not where it should have been.
How have you seen those who haven't played a year in the SEC, specifically Ruby and Z, kind of adjust in these first few games?
Yeah, I think they're understanding it. I think we're all kind of understanding it together, the physicality of it and how we need to get a little bit tougher if we want to compete.
Overall, how would you rate your press at this point? What do you think it is, and in terms of your expectation of it?
I think it's a little bit inconsistent. I think it's very inconsistent. I think there's times we turn it on and there's times it's just not there and we're just kind of out there just to be out there. My theory is we press really hard when we're hitting shots, and when we're not really doing it the way we should be doing it.
Do you think that's common as people adjust to it, as offense has an effect?
I do. I think it's just human nature, right? You score, you get a little extra adrenaline, and you want to press a little bit harder.
Do you feel like sometimes maybe there's hesitancy if maybe they get beat over the top, maybe they're more hesitant, caught in the middle at times?
I think we're past that. I think there was a lot of times where if our front row went, we didn't trust our back row. I think we are starting to trust our back row a little bit more. So I think it's more of, are we getting turns up top?
Is there any way you can shift that out of human nature, and even if you aren't hitting shots, to still have an effective press? How do you coach that to them?
Yeah, I think they do it when they're down. And so just finding a way to get them to do it for 40 minutes, which is hard.
How would you maybe evaluate the offensive rebounding? It seemed like there was an opportunity for that margin to be a little bit bigger against Arkansas type of team, but is it where you wanted it to be?
No, I think it still could have been better. I think it needs to be better, especially as we play Mississippi State. I think they only allow 8 offensive rebounds a game, so we really just need to make sure we hone in on that today at practice.
I know you said that you feel like one of the most frustrating things about this team is that they don't play 4 quarters. What have you kind of been focusing on the last couple of practices to communicate that message?
We've just been trying to coach harder all practice long, and so as opposed to just saying we're not going to coach this or let's just move on to the next drill, of making sure that they get it before we move on.
How have you seen them respond to that harder coaching, especially as the slate?
They can take it. They can take hard coaching. There's no reason. They have been able to from the very beginning.
Talked about Talasia being aggressive, finding your spots. You feel like that was more so what you were looking for against out on the road against Arkansas?
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully she can build on that.
What do you feel like is the next step for the offense at this point? I know Sunday it just felt like it was hard to really gain momentum in that area or feel really fluid? Do you see anything that sticks out about the next step for them?
Yeah, I think we still need to score more in transition, and that's just identifying roles and having people that will run in transition and go get easier buckets, push pace a little bit more, because as we go, the half-court defense we're going to play against is going to get harder and harder, so making sure that we're making people guard us downhill.
What's the challenge of this week as you kind of settle into the grind of the season? I mean, last week you had 2 top 10 teams at home, and it probably a little easy to get juice. How do you make sure school's getting ready to start back? How do you get settled into the grind to make sure everybody understands the significance of every game you play?
We just do it all the same. Every game we treat the exact same. We're in a routine. We're in a pattern now, and they should be focused, especially when we're at home, every game to show up and play hard.
You've ran into several former players of Pat and coaches who have coached against Pat so far this season. Just any news stories that you've heard that they've shared?
Not that I can think of.
Favor's had a couple of games where she's seen early minutes. What is she giving you in practice, whether physicality or otherwise, that has led to that?
Yeah, she's our best offensive rebounder. She'll go in there and guard. She's tough. She's physical. She'll push people around. And when we're at a point right now where we need toughness, she brings that.
You mentioned the offensive rebounding at Mississippi State. What else stands out about them?
They're incredibly talented. They're going to go in transition. Their half-court defense is really good, so it's going to be a really tough matchup for us.
They also have a pretty, strong 6'6" center. Just how do you feel like your team has handled playing against post? I know Iowa, they did a decent job of limiting O'Grady, but just kind of how do you feel like your team has handled?
I think we've done better. I think there is improvement since thinking back to when we played Middle and Liberty, and we were not good in the post. So I do think, especially Jill, I think we're doing better in the post.
C and Jill both hit threes in the last game. With the balance between instilling confidence in them while also not letting them completely just kind of go off the rails?
Late in the shot clock. Inside out threes late in the shot clock, they're allowed, and they know that. And so we've kind of just tried to tell them, we believe in you, you're in here shooting, but you don't necessarily need to shoot the first one. Play to your strengths. And we're doing that with all of our players right now. Doesn't matter if they're post or not, it's about their three-point shooting percentage. And if you have a layup, take the layup.
How important was it to have the balance that you had offensively in terms of not just scoring, but coming from different places, balance on the floor?
I think that's when we're at our best, is when we have a balanced attack on offense and it's not just coming from 1 or 2 people.
Sorry. Samara, 8 assists, 0 turnovers. How important is it to keep those turnovers down for her?
Good. It's really important for our whole team. I think that's caused us a lot, and they've been unforced turnovers. Our first quarter, we had a lot at Arkansas, and just making sure that we clean those up. Play a little bit slower, and it's just we're trying to do it all at once.